All right, everybody, what's up? And welcome to your reading for the full moon in Aquarius happening on the 1st of August in the Northern Hemisphere and the 2nd of August in the Southern Hemisphere. In terms of the energy collectively, before I start the reading, we are at a bit of a global exhale. We're at a bit of a global pause. And so for many of you, this is going to come as a bit of a relief. The push, push, push feeling of summer, that deep yang, that deep fire, we need that to keep going, and we need that to break through old barriers and to become and see new parts of ourselves. But when we're living in a world that is so steeped in the yang energy as it is, fire season and summer season, especially for those in the Northern Hemisphere, can feel a bit intense. And those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, you can still feel that deep rest is paired with, I got to be doing stuff. I got to keep going. I got to make things happen, because we're steeped in the tea of yang, and we're not really living in that harmonious balance yet. And so I want to use the word achieve, like when the collective achieves a moment of global pause, really allow things to fall and to settle, and allow this time to be when you scatter your chips and see what you have and what you are looking for and what you want to keep, what you want to throw away, or maybe just how you want to rearrange things. There's going to be a handful of larger shifts that happen come September, October, November, sort of as we wrap up or sort of turn the last corner of the year and start heading towards the fall there. But for now, before we dive back into the energy of summer and of yang season, of fire season, allow yourself to take a look around and observe what you are cultivating so far. Because for many of you, it's going to be a really nice opportunity to realize, oh yeah, actually I'm doing quite well. I'm doing what I want to be doing, and maybe I don't need to push myself as hard or be so hard on myself inside in my words. But for some of you, it might be a recognition that maybe you're cultivating something that you're not actually super stoked on. And so can you take note of that and begin to cultivate, or choose differently and cultivate the things that are more aligned with your larger goals and dreams? As I've mentioned for many of you, and I've mentioned through many of my readings as well, there's this deep Piscean undercurrent that's happening, and it's really asking us to pay attention to our dreams, and both in the physical version of dreams and the subconscious dream world version of things. If you can take note of your dreams, or if you're not dreaming, maybe you never remember your dreams, or maybe you're somebody who engages in cannabis in the evening, can you do a little experiment, even just for a week, and allow yourself to have those vivid dreams return, receive the messages that you need to, and move from there. All right. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Kate. I'm Indigo Instinct Healing. I'm an intuitive healer and channeled reader and starseed guide. I book private readings for twin flame sessions as well as personal life things. You can book with me via email in my information box in the drop box down below, or if you're watching this on Instagram, just drop me a DM. And I really appreciate all of your presence here, and welcome to the reading. Okay, yeah. This is in regards to that cultivating the stuff that we don't want to be cultivating. And it's interesting because I don't necessarily ask or mean to talk about yin and yang, or terms of things in yin and yang, but it is helpful. It's relatively gender neutral, and it does still express the two types of energies that we're really dealing with in terms of polarity in the world. And we got the snake here, this life force energy, beautiful feminine life force energy card, and we got it in reverse. And For those of you who are experiencing a lot of resistance in your life right now, maybe things aren't going well in a certain area, or they're just not flowing very easily. Things feel like they're taking a lot of effort or a lot of work. Be very curious. See if you can be very curious about your methodologies. Are you trying to get something to work by forcing it into a space that it doesn't necessarily fit? And that goes for relationships, for work, for learning a new skill. If you're learning to play guitar or getting into swimming or running or whatever, are you trying to get to a new place or get to a platform or get to a destination by forcing it? For those of you who are experiencing a lot of resistance, this dragging backwards as you're trying to move uphill, we're really being asked to lay down our old ways of being. And it's interesting because I'm trying to find the right words to express this card, but really what keeps coming through is like a gong, this like yang, yang, yang sound. And it really is the sound of fire, force, and struggle. And so if you aren't feeling comfortable, spacious, a pause, the exhale, that room to breathe that you need to right now, you're not experiencing that in your own reality, ask yourself where you are trying to force. And this takes skill. You know, when I often say like, go sit with yourself or write a note or spend some time alone and reflect, you know, I am aware that this is a skill and this takes time and it's scary and it takes courage and it takes self-compassion and it takes willingness to do so. And so see if this can be an exercise of at least writing down the things in your life in which you're feeling like they're flowing well, and then the feelings in which they're feeling like they're not flowing well, and see if you can just practice being really honest about why you think that is, and go from there. Yeah, okay. Like, I love when I get a feeling of what's going to happen in the card and then I see the card and it's what I thought it was going to be. But this reading in general seems to be a bit split between yin and yang anyway. And that is a beautiful, beautiful sign if I'm getting this divided reading, because it really does mean that we're starting to intertwine energies more so. And so that is a beautiful step forwards in the collective. For those of you in your feminine side, so you might identify as a woman, this might be a softer part of you, a more gentle part of you, maybe a part of you you're trying to access, you're trying to nurture, and you may be experiencing a lot of fear. The key word here is trying to open and trying to explore, but fear, feeling that fear. This card, it does say nurturing underneath. This card is really about giving yourself that deep nurturing and that deep holding that you take as long as you goddamn well please to take this next step. And whether you're making a decision about moving location or trying something different or being honest with somebody about how you feel, this empowerment card, this return of the yin, this reclamation of the feminine, this comes from when we are empowered with how and when and in what timing we make our own decisions. And so although this is a very nurturing, protective, covering ourselves card, really feeling that safety within ourselves, it's really calling for this empowerment piece of you take the time, you have the power, you choose the timeline. You cannot let anybody else choose that timeline for you, and nobody else has the ability to choose the timeline for you that will actually work. And so give yourself that gift, give your womb, give yourself that replenishment and that deep gift of being the goddess of your own goddamn timeline and the way in which you do things and the order in which you do things. And just having that empowerment inside, you know, you don't need to share that with anybody, but having that empowerment inside is really going to change the integrity from which you operate within the world. Just a food for thought. I'm hoping the lighting is okay. I tried to plan it with the sun, but alas, the sun moves. Okay, and again, this is in reference to the pause again. So we got the beautiful butterfly, the transformation card. I'm not sure if it's really focusing well, but hopefully we can get it to focus because it is such a beautiful card. But this child, this cute, tender little child, this butterfly of transformation, we did get it in reverse. And this is in regards to your larger projects and your larger dreams. And so during this collective pause, during this feeling, during this exhale, and if you have enough time throughout your day at any point, maybe you walk to work instead of drive, or you give yourself 10 minutes to sit with your tea or your coffee on the back deck instead of reading the paper or checking Instagram or whatever at the same time. If you give yourself that tiny wedge of space, you're also going to feel this. You will feel that it seems like the spinning of the world is kind of in this inhale and this kind of pause, or this exhale and this sort of settling. And in regards to your larger projects, your larger dreams, the things you're working towards, this is a reminder that you haven't lost that stamp, you know, that desire, that larger dream, the goals you're working towards. They're like a tattoo for you. You're not going to get rid of them. But it can do us, it can serve us very well. It can do us a lot of good. It can serve us very well to take some time and step away from that focus, that intense focus. You know, I am somebody who's very guilty when I'm working on an art piece or a project that I fix and fix and fix and fix and fix until I've wrecked it. And so when it comes to your bigger projects and those deep dreams within you that are going to come true for you because you wouldn't be so motivated, you wouldn't be so desiring of them if they weren't in your plan for you. Unless they're totally driven by ego, in which case those usually fall away in quite a dramatic way, one way or another. Happy Leo season. They're not going anywhere. And so can you turn your eye for a week, a month, 2 months, just some time to devote your attention to other things that are important? And then remind yourself that it's giving you a chance to become re-inspired about the things that you're working towards. And you can come back and look at it with fresh eyes. And it'll be much easier to cut to the chase and to get to the heart or the center of the project or the goal once you return. I really do love this deck. Okay. I'm getting called to take another card, so I'm going to do 2 cards at once for the last one. Interesting. Okay, so this is, let's zoom out here. This is really about your narrative story at large. And so we got the beautiful gentleness card, which I'm hoping will focus. There we go. And I'm going to experiment with a new way of doing these readings. I'd like to get a camera that goes over top so you can see the cards better. But the gentleness card with the young maiden here. And then the resilience card, the resilience card with the girl looking at the lotus flower in the water. You can see down here. And we got these at the same time. And this, in reference to our larger narrative, our larger big picture, what you need to hear at this moment is that the way to crush the wall, the way to break the barriers down, the way to smash the brick is going to be with gentle honey, with pouring gentleness, bringing flowers, pouring honey and wine and all these gentle things, the exact opposite of what we think would be effective for this situation. That is going to be how you are going to break down these larger walls. And for many of you, I can feel this is going to be quite like a tender thing. It might be a deep part of you that you feel like you've been struggling with lately. But it also might be in relation to somebody in an access that you don't understand how to achieve. And so the more gentleness you can bring to the situation, that it really is like if you have a bully at school and you like invite them to sit at your lunch table and you give them a piece of your pizza and you ask them to play soccer and you don't listen to their words. You don't listen to how obnoxious they are or how rude they are. You don't listen when they tell you to do something. You don't let them bully you, but you also don't give in with your gentleness. That really is going to be the way to break through whatever this sinewy part of your narrative is that feels a bit stuck. And the other part is not about being more resilient, but about honoring the fact that you are a goddamn warrior. And you know that within. You would not be here at this time, at this place, listening to this reading if you were not a warrior on this planet. And so reminding yourself of that, taking that and putting it in your back pocket and reminding yourself that you are a warrior on this planet and you have the skills and you have the abilities and the tenacity and the bravery and the courage to be able to greet whatever it is that you're struggling with in this moment. And so maybe you write a little, I'm a big words person, so maybe you write a little I am a warrior and you put it on a sticky in your door frame. Or for you, maybe it's about having something more deeply connected to your body, like a certain type of necklace or a wrap that you wear around your waist, or a certain type of feather or a stone or a totem of sorts that reminds you of that, because you already are resilient. And the more that you can remind yourself of how far you've come on this journey, the easier it's going to be for you to greet this new challenge in a revolutionary way. So that is all I have for you folks today. Thank you so much for watching. Please, 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 please like and subscribe to the channel or send it to a friend. If you are watching this on Instagram, please head over to YouTube and subscribe. I have immense troubles trying to get videos on Instagram. It takes a ridiculous amount of time, and they often don't work with the best quality. And so I would love to be able to funnel and invite the people who are on Instagram over to YouTube, where all of my other videos are, all of my meditations are, all of my videos about starseeds and ascension process and timelines and energy and all those things already exist. And if you're interested in having either a twin flame reading, I am united with my twin flame and we are not in a romantic relationship, so I have lots of experience with the twin flame connection. Or if you'd like a private reading, a personal reading about your journey, your process, your evolution as a starseed, what your purpose is, anything that you need, I'm here to serve you as a guide for the starseed revolution on this planet. So I really appreciate you coming to me for help. It helps me keep food on the table and gas in my car. And I genuinely appreciate your presence today. Thank you so much. And until the new moon, blessings.